the first ever hunt I ever went duck hunting on, Mason called me. It was like 10 o'clock at night. He calls my mom. I don't got a phone, and we're like 10 years old. And he's like, dude, my Aunt Shanna and Matt, they're going hunting in Conway. He has some private land. Do you want to go? I was like, yeah, of course. So like they pick me up at like 11, and I go and stay at the house. I didn't have no waders. I just had some deer hunting clothes on, and they put me out there in a little John boat, and we rode out to the. I don't know if you've hunted out there at Conway with them, but it's a
Yeah.
nice elevated blind. we we got into them the first time I'd ever been out there, and then they invited me back in Stuttgart on youth season. That was the first two duck hunts, and then the next year, what was it, Christmas, I was asking everybody for Christmas. All I wanted was decoys and waders, and
Hmm.
I got it early for November, and it just took off from there.
Hey there, hunting family. What is up? We've got a good one for you here tonight with us. We got a full house, but primarily our main guest is Wyatt from Stacking Waterfowl. We're going down south to Arkansas, and we're going to be talking a little bit of duck, geese, and waterfowl hunting tonight. So welcome to the show, Wyatt.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, looking forward to this. Glad we were able to get it on the calendar and knock it out. Along with Wyatt tonight, we got our brother from down south, Cody Griffith from Triple B Outdoors. What's going on, friend?
No, not much. How about y'all?
Living the dream, like we always like to say. And last but certainly not least is my brother from another mother, Chris
Yeah.
Bookman, 3B Outdoors. How you doing, Chris?
What's up, dudes? Good, man. Pumped to be here. Pumped to talk some ducks. I've been listening to these guys tell deer stories all year, so
Yeah, Chris has been chomping at the bit to get some waterfowl guys on here, and so I'm gonna turn it over. Let's dive into it, Chris. I'll let you sort of lead the convo today, but want to dig into Wyatt and talk about that flyway they got down there, that waterfowl
Yeah.
mecca that they hunt in.
you guys are living where the ducks are going, so they're flying by me. They're headed you guys' way. So let's get some pleasantries out of the way. Wyatt, dive in, dude. Tell me a little bit about yourself and your hunting bio and what got you into all this, bro.
Yeah, so me and my buddies, we fell in love when we were young hunting and everything, doing the duck hunting thing, and got into it young and really kind of just took over by ourselves, just going out there all the time, obsessed with it all the time. What was it, 2 years ago? We was hunting, and I seen an outdoor page, and they was just these younger guys, and they were just having fun. They're posting stuff, and obviously they're killing the heck out of the birds in South Arkansas. They're getting after it, and I thought, dude, I think we might could do something like that. So I fired up a little Instagram page. It wasn't even named Stacking at the time. I made something just on like an iPhone 6. I think I was like 15 or no, 16. And we went the next day and had a pretty good hunt out on the river just right outside the house, and I posted some little video off my phone of my dog retrieving, and then after that we'd posted a bunch that year, but it was just on my phone. And then the year after that would have been last year. I went into college and got to hunt more than I've ever got to hunt before, and I ended up kind of grinding it out and left the camera. I wasn't into it. I was just worried about killing birds. And this year I went ahead and got a camera. I ended up getting a drone this year and starting to get more into trying to be more on the social media and not just out there getting after it with everybody.
Cool. How'd you hook up with the kitty slayer, Cody?
Well, oh gosh. I mean, he went to the same high school as I did. I remember seeing him play baseball when I was like in 5th grade, something like that. But no, I don't know when the first time we would have hunted together. I knew him. I was best friends with his nephew, Mason, and he's the one that got me into hunting. And then we just kind of knew each other. And what was it, like 2 years ago? First time we hunted together, I think, was over
That,
out there in the bottoms. We shot some snows and some
yeah,
mallards and Canadas. It was a good hunt.
yeah, it was a good one. I can't remember. Did we hunt together like several years ago? With Matt. Remember Matt?
No,
Shannon.
no, I didn't get to go with you and Matt. I went with Matt twice. The first ever hunt I ever went duck hunting on, Mason called me. It was like 10 o'clock at night. He calls my mom. I don't got a phone, and we're like 10 years old. And he's like, dude, my Aunt Shanna and Matt, they're going hunting in Conway. He has some private land. Do you want to go? And I was like, yeah, of course. So like they pick me up at like 11, and I go and stay at the house at his house, and I didn't have no waders. I just had some deer hunting clothes on, and they put me out there in a little John boat, and we rode out to I don't know if you've hunted out there at Conway with them, but it's a
Yeah,
nice elevated blind. we we got into them the first time I'd ever been out there, and then they invited me back in Stuttgart on youth season. That was the first 2 duck hunts, and then the next year, what was it, Christmas? I was asking everybody for Christmas. All I wanted was decoys and waders, and
Mm-hmm.
I got it early for November, and it just took off from there.
Yeah. That's
yeah,
all it takes is getting into them that first time, man.
Little
And
success.
Yeah, the
yeah,
yeah.
hook.
I couldn't
So,
remember if you were there because me, Mason, and Shannon, and Matt went a bunch down there, and I couldn't remember if you were ever on one of those or not.
No,
The first widgeon I ever killed was down there, and he's on the wall right now. So
see, that's crazy because the first bird I killed was a widgeon, and
yeah,
I ain't killed a good looking widgeon since, and I kicked myself. I didn't know it was a good looking bird for around here, and I was like,
mhm,
oh sweet, I got a duck. Now that I look back, dude, I ain't got a good widgeon since. I wish I
yeah.
could. That's the one that I want on the wall.
my brother Josh, that's on here with me all the time. Cody, you interacted with him. His he went sea duck hunting because we live real close to the Atlantic and the Chesapeake Flyways and stuff, so he can go out and do that. So he went with a couple work buddies and they killed some sea ducks, some scoters. But his first real duck hunting was, I mean, we got into a pack of stud bull cans, just these canvasbacks
Uh,
on a public lake, just dumped into us. And so that was his first thing. And he's like, never killed a mallard or a wood duck or the basic stuff. The first thing he got was a can. So that's a cool story. So Ron is a deer hunter. Okay.
through.
And that's what I grew up just doing. And I got hooked on waterfowl. But Ron has been down y'all's way to Stuttgart. And he just kind of talks about it like it ain't no big thing.
It's like, oh, yeah,
But
there
he's,
are tens of thousands of ducks flying around, but I didn't
It's
see
not
no
that
deer.
hard, right?
Yeah,
I've been to Stuttgart, I think 3 or 4 times,
yeah. Did you
like
go to
3 or
Wing?
4 different times. And we would just, they put us up in a lodge. It was, if you follow the show, audience has probably heard this story before, but, I go down there for work and, it was nothing, you get up, it's a good lodge, guided hunts, take you out. By 10:30, everybody had their limit. And, I'll send you guys some pics.
It's
And
not always like that, buddy.
no,
well, I'm finding that hunting with
Especially up
Chris. It's not like that here,
Yeah.
no,
Well,
I'm
the
just,
area that we're at, we get some birds, but not like South Arkansas. We've got the big Ozark Mountains right above us. And so when they come down Missouri, they hit probably 50, 50 to 100 miles before the Arkansas border. And they just split the flyways. And this half goes to Oklahoma to the Central Flyway, and this half goes to South Arkansas. And we kind of get the trickle ins from it.
well, hit me with some funny stories. Besides your first widgeon there, Wyatt, what's a cool memory you have, even with Cody, without Cody, you know?
Oh gosh, I mean, there's so many. Actually, the first thing, funny story, it's really ignorant, but last year, we're hunting right on the Arkansas River around here. This is a first for me. We're hunting on this Arkansas River, and it goes up and down all the time. I'm in between the Ozark Lock and the Dardanelle Lock. They're playing with it all the time. They like to drop it the Friday night before opener. It seems like I've beached a boat multiple times for that, and but it was like late season last year, and just going through the motions. It's me and one other guy, or two other guys. We was going out to some islands to hunt, and I just got this mud motor, so I just run it up on the bank pretty good ways. We hop out. We're late per usual, throwing decoys and everything, and we was hunting on the opposite side of this island, and we go back around to get our guns, and my boat is gone. And I was like, "Oh no, what have we done?" And I started freaking out. I didn't know what to do. We had all of our guns just sitting on the very front of the boat, like the butts kind of hanging off the edge. And I was like, it was pretty rough and windy. And they just decided to bring the river up, and it took the boat with it. I I didn't know who to call. I was in school, so it was like a Wednesday. You're out there ain't nobody out there. And I called my buddy who lives on the lake. He wouldn't answer, so I called his mom. And it's early, and I'm just blowing up her phone. She finally answers, and I was like, "Hey, can you?" His name's Jameson. I've posted him, and I was like, "Can you send Jameson down here, in the boat? I know it's really late, but I've lost my boat." And she's like, "Say that again?" I was like, "Yeah, it floated away." I was like, "Can you get him to come down here?" But ended up being another group that come across the river, like 10, 15 minutes after the call, and I'm just strobe lighting them, trying to get their attention. And normally you get that anytime you're on the river around here. You get within 200 yards and they'll flip the sirens on. They're freaking out. You're getting too close to them. And oh yeah, they're worried about it. And I'm like, no, I need help. And they was driving down the river, ignoring me, and they seen my boat. And luckily they didn't run it over. They come and got me and took me to my boat. But I felt really just ignorant for doing it. But man, was I thankful they come through. Go ahead and
I
throw that anchor out.
yeah, we went out. Gets I know it gets cold where you guys are, but a couple years ago when I first got into duck hunting, it was you know pretty cold, 20s, teens, and there's the Port of Baltimore up here, part of the Chesapeake Bay goes out, and there's a bunch of rivers and inlets that go into it, and there's like big cargo ships going by, and it's just kicking ducks up. So you can go down, and Maryland has public blind drawings that you can do, and you win this area, and that's yours for the season. It's marked. You get a number. You can give your number to other people, but that's yours for the season. So we went down there, and I'll send you guys pictures. We're literally launching in like a ghetto. Like you don't want to leave your truck there, but you go out on this bay, and we went underneath the Key Bridge. So that's the bridge. If you guys watch the news or whatever, outside of Baltimore a year or two ago, that collapsed when that Chinese ship hit it. So we hunted underneath that, go through it. It is frozen solid, and we're in like a 18-foot just flat bottom John boat. All the stuff that Luke Bryan sings about, that's the boat we're in, and we're not getting through this ice. Now he has a jet motor on it, so he'd back up, we'd go through it. And there's not a whole lot in this world I'm scared of, but little boats and bridges I'm scared of. And guess where we got stuck? Underneath this bridge in a little boat. So I'm on the front of the boat with his dog. He's got a chocolate lab. And this is you guys are already gonna say what it looks like. I'm on the front of this thing with a little piece of rebar, and I'm just trying to jam this ice on my knees. And I'm like, listen, if we go down, I'm taking a dog with me. We're gonna go. Luckily, guys came through on a big like a bay boat, and we're like, y'all duck hunting? And then they took us to the spot, busted a bunch of ice up once we got through the channel. But you always have those heroes that are out there,
Yeah. Don't never know who it's gonna be.
Yeah.
That's my rule of thumb is always, I try to never be a dick to other people because you never know who's going to save you.
Yeah. We got stranded a couple years ago. My buddy that I hunt with, my main hunting buddy, he's got a little John boat, and there's a public lake just 5 minutes from my house, and we had won a blind spot at this lake, and we're just up there. He just bought a boat, trolling around on it, got it on Marketplace. It had like a 1987 just little junk motor on it, and he tuned it up. We're out there putting around, and this motor dies in the middle of this lake. And we probably got like a mile back to where we're launching. And it's a man-made lake, so I'm not even being funny. Like the middle of this lake is probably 90 to 100 foot deep. Like it's like a reservoir type thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's this black abyss. And we're out there, and he's got oars, and I'm just laughing the whole time. He's getting mad, and we're kind of rowing and going. and here comes some old dude in a pontoon boat, just cranking oldies, got a beer in his hand, throws the rope to us. Come on, boys, I got you, and he towed us all the way back. So always got to look for those lake saviors.
Uh-huh.
So what about, give me a good day? What's the best day you guys have had down there? Because you guys' good days are pretty stellar from some of the pictures I'm seeing.
Cody, you can. What
There
is?
you go. There's a picture.
There's Ron's good day,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, that's what a good day hunting looks like in Arkansas, right?
Yeah, that's pretty average, I guess. It's cute.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah, that's a good day.
Shame to take that thing away from his mom.
Oh, we haven't had a day like that in a while. I can say during the freeze, we had a big freeze a couple weeks ago, and I got a couple buddies. One guy owns a bunch of private land down in the bottoms, and he's got a private lake, and he was able to keep a hole open on it, and they killed a 9-man out of it.
Yeah.
Of colors.
Wow.
So, other than that, best I've done, I've killed several 6-mans and some 5-man limits, and this September we killed 40 geese in one hunt, Canada.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that was cool. That was my best Canada hunt.
So I've seen them up here, like on the Chesapeake, but kind of piggyback off it. Tell me about when those big migrations hit. Even just seeing them, describe to these people up here what that's like.
Heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, when like what he was saying, that cold front hit 2 weeks ago, you don't get that snow. It's supposed to be some freeze of a decade or something, and it wasn't. But when people down here south, when they hear about that freeze coming, it's just like everybody's getting excited about it. I remember we was about to go to work on that Monday before, and I was going to take off that Monday. We had a few found, and I flipped up the old Google Weather app, and I was like, "Hey, look at this! It's showing teens in a week away." And I start texting everybody, and then the Facebook meteorologist, I don't know how to say it, but
That's
they
close enough for this group.
yeah, close enough. No, they're predicting all this snow, and I automatically get on there and start calling my boss, like, how many days can I get off next week? Because when it gets cold like that, it's time. I mean, we
Yeah.
got 1 week of it this year, which bummer it did, but that week was fun.
Yeah.
Bet.
Yeah, for sure.
Why,
Go ahead, Ron.
I was just gonna hop in here. So where'd you come up with the name Stacking Waterfowl? I know you said when you started, you were just like posting stuff online with your phone, and then you
yeah.
got in. After you're in college, you got a little bit more serious about the social stuff. What was the genesis of that name?
Man, I bet we sat out there in the marsh talking about ideas for a name. I mean, anything under the sun you could think of, we're coming up with it. And it actually happened after we was hunting. I was pulling up a picture showing somebody, and it was like a week before or something. We end up getting a hold of them pretty good, and we took a little pile picture. We kind of had them stacked up, and I was like, "Hey, you're stacking ducks, I come up with stacking fowl or stacking ducks or something, and then I committed to stacking waterfowl, and now the more that I've said it, I like it. It comes with a little ring.
Yeah.
Cool. Tell him the real story. He was out there stacking donuts on his buddy, and
Hey man, what happens in the blind down there?
Hey,
Okay.
You gotta.
Duck hunting's the only time you can get woodies with all your buddies, and nobody, it's not
Nobody
often.
says anything about it.
My son tells a story all the time about he has never seen me laugh as hard in my life. I had never seen, and I don't know if they're prevalent down your way or not. You ever seen like one of those shaker feeder chucker calls?
Yeah.
It looks like whatever. I had never seen one of those. And my brother, who's a goofball too, he breaks one of these out in the blind one day. And it is just, he's making it look like obviously what it is. It's just kind of flopping. And I'm like, what did you bring out here?
Where'd that
And
come
he
from?
starts doing it. And you guys know you're out there. It's early. It's cold. I'm like hysterically crying, laughing at that, and I know you were making a joke, Cody, but some of the stuff that happens in the blind, dude, you can't explain to other people. It's just fun.
Oh yeah.
You're tired. You're wet. It's just funny. I almost said something that made it sound super. Super. Whatever.
It's stuff that would be funny anywhere else, but it's hilarious on the duck blind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those conversations.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's it. We're all about memories. You know, you hear me say it all the time. You're going out, you're hunting with friends, and you're making memories. And it's like you had to be there stories. That's why we come around and have shows like this so we can tell those stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what makes it worth it. I mean, you guys know. But I mean, for me, growing up just deer hunting where you sat in a tree by yourself, and it's cool. I like doing that. But going out there and laughing, and sometimes that laughter and that camaraderie and joking and snacking and smoking and joking out there, that's the best part. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you want to get ducks and stuff, obviously, and be successful, but some of those laughs and stuff that you have out there. I mean, the day Ron and I went out a couple weeks ago, we laughed the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's freezing cold. We got like in a little snow squall. They said it might be a dusting, and it was like a full-on blizzard out there with us. And man, it was just a wild time. So let's jump another thing. So I'm interested to see, because I do things a little different where I hunt. What about decoys, spreads? What are you guys doing down there? Big ones, little ones, motion? What's the laws in Arkansas for motion that might be different up here? Is there laws for that down there?
Oh, it's pretty much free range depending where you're
Okay.
at. If
Yeah.
you get on certain WMAs, you're not no battery. It's all got to be manual. But around me
Well,
and Cody,
they
you can
changed
put
that.
whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah. It used to be on all WMAs. You couldn't have any battery powered motion decoys, but they changed that this year. I'm pretty sure almost all the WMAs now in Arkansas you can use them on.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys doing
Pretty much,
doing
yeah. You for all free will. What I've noticed, the motion is key. You can usually take a dozen to 2 dozen decoys out there and be good, no matter how many ducks you're hunting, where you're hunting. But as long as you have motion, you're good. And your hide. Your hide is definitely the most important thing down here.
Yes. No. What kind of motion are you running, Cody? You got an
Uh,
edge on me, or
well, I just get out there and take my ass and they come in.
yeah.
No,
how many curls you got?
uh, just a couple pulsators, a kicker, throwing out a little sponsorship name here. This year I've started using the Bluebird Waterfowl animator. It goes to your mojo, it hooks to your wings, and it's a rod that goes down. It's got a little disc at the bottom that flaps in the water, and it creates motion. It also sounds like wings hitting the water. So birds down here are really shy to mojos. I mean, they've seen them from Canada all the way down to here. So I've been running it this year with just one wing on it, and a couple times with no wings on it, just having that rod in there, and just the sound
Flashing. Yep.
of it's the sound of it is the key there, and it's been a game changer. I set it off to this one hunt this year. I had it out in the middle with the wings on it, and birds was short stopping us, probably at 50, 60 yards. So I pulled it completely, and they're still kind of short stopping us. So we're hunting this point, and there's a small cove that kind of went behind us a little bit, just a little ways. So I just pulled the mojo, took the wings off of it, set it in the back of that cove there, and just turned it on and let that sound go. And every duck we decoyed that day was under 20 yards since after that.
So I can't remember the guy's name that invented that. But, Cody, you're in the collaborative chat with us. There's a guy named Mike that has a page called Mountain and Marsh. He had a podcast for a long time in a brand, and we would go on his. And the guy that invented that went on his podcast when he first came up with it.
Yeah, his name's George.
Yep, I knew it was uh, a J. I was thinking.
G. It's George.
Did you say George or Jordan?
George.
Okay, I knew it was something with a J, or I knew it was something like that. I was thinking Justin for some reason. But anyways, Lee, that's in with me, he got one of the first prototypes from that, and we
Really?
take it down with us. Yeah, it's cool, man. And he's made some adjustments to that since then. But it's a cool thing, and that sound of that when that's going off, man. I mean, that's a key thing. So, where we hunt, I hunt with two guys. One of them likes big spreads. He's putting out dozens and dozens of decoys. And when I hunt with Lee, Lee's putting maybe half a dozen out, and Lee's call heavy, where this other guy's not calling much, but he's got the motion and the attraction. So where are you guys at with calls? I know that's a big thing down your way.
Go ahead and take a what?
Yeah, little shout out here. There's a guy, he lives right close to me. His name's Mike Meredith at MIG Custom Calls, and he makes pretty calls, but dude, they sound good. I have 5 of them on my lanyard. I have that and a Buck Gardner double nasty is the first call I ever got, and then a goose call is all I got on me. And I love how it sounds. But around here you can get call heavy. You know, at the beginning of the year you're barking at them whatever, but when it gets late, unless you catch on new birds, you know, you can tell when they get stale, and then we get a cold front and they get new ones. But when it gets stale, personally I'm, you know, very quiet, little feed chuckle and let the motion be out there. You get loud on them, they've heard it too much around here.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I mean, there's a couple public things, and we'll sit there just kind of half asleep sometimes, and you know ducks are coming because you can hear every blind up the shoreline just screaming at
Oh,
them, you know.
yes.
And so, you know, where I hunt, my experience is a little bit of calling. I use motion and small spreads. And where we're at, I always have geese with me. I always have some goose decoys because the ducks
That's
are going to
pretty
find.
carrying this deer.
So, so give some guys advice. Guys are just starting out down your way, wherever. Give them advice, how to start, what to get, pitch your products. I know you guys are tied up with some people. You know, what's some good ways to get new guys into this?
Get a Drake whistle.
Yep.
I think that is maybe the most slept on thing that you can put in your arsenal. You don't even know how to call, but you can just hum in a whistle, and if you hear live birds on the water, you hear
Yeah.
Drake's whistling all the time. And
Well, I'll tell you what, I suck at duck calls, but I can do that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Anybody can do it, and they're cheap. You ain't got to go buy the fanciest $200 call to get it, and I think it's not used enough. If
Yeah.
there's a guy in the blind that doesn't know how to call, I give him a whistle. Just
Yep.
whistle on it, you know.
Bouncing off that, I utilized the whistle this year. I bought one over the summer, I think, because I hunted with a guy last year who used a whistle, and he's like, "Man, I hardly ever even pick up a duck call." And so I went and bought a whistle, and I probably used it as much, if not more, than my actual call. Kind of like what Wyatt said a little bit ago. Early season, you can call at them a lot more, but the later the season goes, unless it's a big migration day, if you're on the X, they're going to want to be there. And so smaller spreads, just a little bit of motion, and just some soft quacks or some, whistle, a little bit of whistle is all you need.
But some gear recommendations. What are you telling people to get?
Goodness. I would definitely suggest getting a good pair of waders. Boy, have I been wet. It's
Yeah,
hard to
that's
find
no
a good
fun either.
pair. It's hard to find or not hard to find, but every pair of waders is gonna leak. But I'm a big I have no connection or whatever, but if someone else is gonna get into it, a cheap Roger Sporting Goods breathable waders, you catch them on Black Friday and get them for $100 or whatever it is, and they're great waders. But you don't have to have the best, but I would definitely get something, you know, price range good, but something that's going to keep you warm and just stay dry. I can't stand being wet. It'll ruin a hunt.
Yeah, the good clothes. That's what I was going. Base layers. So this past weekend I took a couple of youth hunters out, and Saturday I had my good clothes, and it was down I think in the 30s. It wasn't just too cold, but I was nice and warm. And then got home, washed my clothes. I fell asleep before I put them in the dryer. Woke up the next morning, I was like, crap. And then so I was like, well, I've got some old clothes I'll wear. And it was warmer Sunday morning than what it was Saturday, and I was freezing out there without my good clothes on, my good base layers. So definitely, if you just starting to get into it, the cold runs a lot of people off. Sitting out there in freezing cold water, and people usually turn their nose up to it. So some good clothes definitely helps.
All right, cheesy question. What's your camo choice? Brand, style, what are you going with?
Oh, I've been the guy that just throws on whatever. it didn't matter. It's all mismatching. And I was like, I ain't spending the time or the money worrying about looking good out here hunting. But this year I went ahead and matched everything bottomlands, and I think I can hide pretty good at it, but I've talked to a lot of guys that says that it ain't broke up enough and it's just a pretty camo, but I'll stand by it.
What about you, Code Man?
So I've got an assortment. I've got the Max 5, Max 7, blade grass jackets and stuff for like if I hunt the river and like we hide in the grass, I'll wear that. But if I'm going in hunting woods and in the timber, I'm wearing bottomland. Or I think it's Mossy Oak come out last year before with a new like bottomland timber, and it actually kind of looks like trees. I've got a jacket that's like that, and I love it.
That's cool.
It's nice. And then I have an all brown suit that I wear. I've got the Sitka waders in the dark timber color because I like to be darker than the lighter. I feel like you blend in a lot better with dark stuff, but that's just me.
I got a couple years ago. I bought a new gun. It was the gun I wanted was in like the blade grass camo, and I'm a big dude. I'm not little, so I got to get bigger waders. And I got a sale on Rogers one day, and it had the blade grass camo. So I like bottomlands, but all my stuff is in the blade grass
Yeah.
stuff. And if I'm hunting timber, I got a $3 Walmart olive green pullover. I'll throw in and hide up next to a tree. You
Yeah.
know?
So the
Go
type
ahead.
of I was just gonna say the type of camo that we lean towards, speaks to like the habitat we're hunting, and certainly we're used to a different habitat than you guys are. But I mean, what do you prefer to hunt? Are you just out on the water, back on a cove, on flooded timbers? What do you got down there, and what do you prefer?
As much as I would love to just hunt the timber, it's a good 2 hours away from the house, so it's around here. I mean, it's just I'll hunt anywhere that has ducks. I mean, I've tried throwing layouts on an island that ain't nothing but sand and just trying to dig a little hole or something to hide in. But I mean, a lot around here is you're hunting islands, or like Cody said, on the river, there's a lot of the blades and the grass that you're standing in. But it's all over the place around here. There's not anything that's just we're not just hugging trees. When you hear Arkansas, we're
We've got everything.
we're quite opposite actually.
Yeah. We've got opportunities to hunt cornfields, bean fields, a hay field. I had a hay field a few years ago that you know the grass wasn't but an inch tall, and it flooded, had a little over an ankle deep of water in it, and we went and killed a 6-man 3 days in a row off of it. Just put a A-frame right in the middle of it,
Right
and
on.
then there's creeks. Well, I'd had several hunts this year, hunting some creeks that had wood ducks in it. And so that was kind of like a timber hole because it was just a creek in through the middle of the woods. It wasn't your typical Arkansas timber hunt, but it was a wood hunt. It was just a little creek that's probably 10, 15 foot wide. So it pretty much,
Awesome.
you've got anything between your big lakes, the river, and farm ponds. Wyatt hunts some farm ponds quite a bit.
I get on a little farm pond hunt. I got a buddy. He lives like 20 minutes away from me, but he practically lives at my house on the weekends because we normally hunt down here on the river. But he's got his dad has helped us out a ton all around him. All the farmers that's in a little more farmland, mostly cattle farms, but he knows everybody. And oh yeah, they'll call. Oh, we got 50 ducks out here on our pond. If your boy wants to come hunt them, and we're there the next day for
That's
sure.
the call you want to hear, right?
Yeah.
That's the call you want.
So let me ask you this. It's weird up here. There's a popular thing up here where people will call or come kill the geese, but we don't want you to shoot the ducks. Do you guys run into that down there at all?
Yeah.
I mean, ducks are like in a culture. Once you get down south, not just where you guys are, but people I've talked to, like ducks is part of the culture, so it's a little different. But
Yeah.
up here, you run into that a lot. Don't shoot the ducks, but you can shoot all the geese you want.
There's a lot of bottom land down here that there's a couple of duck clubs they lease out, and all they do is duck hunt. So when the geese come in, like the snows and specks and the cans, they'll call me, or if I see them down there, I'll call them and be like, hey, can I just goose hunt? And they're like, yeah, go ahead. We don't care. So a lot of people, they pretty much prioritize the duck early September during early goose hunt, early goose season. Hardly anybody out here does it, but that's whenever we kill the most of them.
Yeah. Hit
Man,
me
it
with
is.
go ahead, bud.
I was just gonna jump in on the early goose thing. You get after them, Cody, but I'm still learning. I'm new to it, but I've drove myself crazy the past 2 years chasing these dang Canadas in September. Man, I can't pattern them for nothing.
Well,
They're like the smartest, dumbest birds around.
oh, dude.
Yeah.
We'll get on a couple hunts this year. We'll try to. It can get pretty good. Nothing like if you can get them on a good pattern, like early September, our first hunt this year. We watch these geese almost every day hit the same field, for like 3 weeks now, and we went in there with layout blinds. Grass was about knee high, covered them in good, and we literally had 2 volleys of geese land at the foot of our blinds, like landed right on top of us, and just those big geese that close. It's insane.
They might as well be sitting still when they get in like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Well, let's talk about the $1 million question right now, boys. What's your take on these flooded corn stuff that's going on?
Cody,
I've got
you can jump in on that.
all right. So the typical person around here, and I used to be that person, where we'd cuss everybody up north for their heated ponds and their flooded corn and blah blah blah. So they're trying to regulate the hunting private land, flooded corn, and this and that. You can't hunt. Like a lot of people are wanting it to where you can't purposely flood corn. You can only hunt it if it's naturally flooded. Which I don't think that's going to help any, because whether if they hunt it or not, they can still flood that corn, not hunt it, and they're still going to hold the ducks.
Right.
Like
Good point.
hunting it isn't going to change anything. The biggest factor here, and I've learned a lot the last probably year or two about this. I've done a lot of research on it. The main issue's weather. Canada's not freezing over. It's been colder here 2 weeks ago. It was colder here than what it was in Manitoba. And, they're not freezing up there. They're not getting the snow that they used to get up there. And farmers are starting to farm more land up there. So now all the ducks are losing their breeding habitat. So all of the wetlands up there is now becoming farmland, and they have nowhere to breed in the summer and all that. So the migration and the breeding, and it's all due to weather and lack of habitat. Few flooded cornfields between here and Canada isn't stopping the migration. Because if you look back 10 years ago, they were still flooding those cornfields 10 years ago. They were still hunting the cornfields, everything else. But the weather was so much colder. Everything was locking up. And, Wisconsin and North Dakota and South Dakota, they were all locked up by the end of November, at least, by the latest. And so we were always getting the push the bird. And now they're not locking up until, mid to late December, January. I've got a couple buddies that's in Minnesota, and they didn't start ice fishing until beginning of January. And they usually start ice fishing in like beginning of December, November. So I mean, the flooded corn's not hurting nothing. And I used to be the biggest guy. I was the first person to cuss everybody up north over it, but I've learned a lot last couple of years on it.
When the that whole topic blew up, we all talked about it, and I agree. I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. Now, I will say maybe it sends an extra 100 birds down here. It ain't going to affect my hunting, but I don't think it's going to make the change of what people want it to. And I heard an idea online. It ain't mine, but the dude had the science behind it. He said that the North Pole's moving a little bit back. Something about I don't know about the Earth or whatever, but they're saying something about the North Pole point. It's moving back farther, and the dude said that it was like he did the research or whatever, and over the years it had moved back like 50 miles to 100 miles or something like that up further north away from us. And he's like, it's kind of odd how the line of where it froze, where it got real cold. It used to be South Arkansas, top of Louisiana, and now it seems to be North Missouri. And I've almost come. I mean, I've just when I heard it, it made sense, and I didn't fact check them. But no matter what's happening, it's not getting as cold as it used to. And I think that's just the biggest thing happening with the birds.
Yeah.
It gets cold, but we don't have that consistent cold.
Yeah,
I just said
yeah.
that like where we are. It was like, Ron, what was our temperature? They got up close to 40s today.
Today was nice. It hit like 41 degrees.
Yeah, it's been in
But
the negatives where we live.
It's been 5 or 6 degrees, for the
And
past couple of days.
I can remember it being cold, but I just told my wife this. It would always get cold, and then maybe a week, and then it would get days where it got warmer and the sun come out, and then you'd have a weird day. It has been consistently cold for like a month here. But when I was a kid, Ron was a kid, wintertime was wintertime up here, man,
Yeah.
and it was cold.
And it started
from,
earlier
like-
in the year too.
from like October till March.
It was nothing
cold,
to have
so.
snow on the ground in November.
Yeah.
When we were kids.
So I should have prefaced it a little bit. For anybody that's not into duck hunting, there's a big topic now where you can hunt these flooded corn. People will have cornfields and impoundments, and they'll flood them for ducks. It's illegal in most places to bait for ducks, but you can hunt them where we're in this cornfield. There's a bunch of people that think it's a big deal affecting the flight pattern. So I don't have really an opinion on it. I think that it's probably not helping, but I don't think it's a detriment where it's changing huge migrations. And what you just said, Wyatt, in Canada, I have a friend that's through 3B, and those guys just smash ducks and all year long, and they don't have the limits like we do.
Mhm.
I don't think that's going to make a huge thing, but they're killing 30, 40 geese at a time, 30, 40 ducks at a time. I mean, just insane piles. And what you said, Cody, like the agriculture's changed up there. They're planting winter wheat up there. Stuff's changing, and people are not harvesting stuff, and they're just getting hung up places, man. And you might have 2 or 3 days a year here now where they're really flying down through the Chesapeake and through the Flyway here, but you're not getting those big pushes. So it's a hot topic, and guess we'll see what develops with it. So there's a couple places in Maryland you can pay to go hunt those things, and I've thought about it a couple times. I'm not opposed to it. It's a ridiculous price now because it's popular. You
Yeah.
know? So
Yeah.
what about you guys? I mean, so again, I'm also asking to know, do you guys do like guided hunts down there, or is it just a good place to go where you can just find ducks?
Yeah, no, if you want to find a guide around here, you're gonna have to go to Oklahoma or South Arkansas. Where we're at, there's not as many ducks as there used to be in the 90s and the 2000s. You hear the old timers talking about it, and it was swamped around here. But anymore, no, you're not gonna find a guide around here. There's just not enough birds. And
Yeah, the closest one I know, the closest guide I know is about an hour and a half away from here. In Bologna.
Mhm.
So
Well, since you guys kind of lived in that place, give me a dream hunt. You could go somewhere and hunt ducks. Where are you going?
Oh,
probably Canada. That would be really cool. But this year I've learned that California is really good duck hunting. Through my girlfriend's dad, he duck hunted California, and his buddies, and has invited us up there to hunt with him, and then I've made some buddies at the Delta Waterfowl Expo in Oklahoma, and one of them, his name's Vincent. He actually come and duck hunted early teal season with us, and then come back in November and big duck hunted with us. And he's invited me out up there. John from the Filthy Spoons podcast, he's invited me up there to hunt with him. So I think maybe this year in December or next January, we're gonna try to go up there and hunt for a week in California.
Cool.
So they get a lot
that'd
of
be
pin
really neat.
Yeah, and they got a lot of rice fields they hunt.
I would I've just seen it on the videos and heard about it, but I would love to get on a little hot water creek that's moving, one of them that you can step across and just shoot mallards on a, they string out 4 mallards in a straight line. It's only water open, and that would be a dream. That'd be awesome.
I just watched that. What was that guy? Those guys on Flying V. Those guys. There's a Meat Eater show. Those guys did that. And they're just. I mean, they could almost slap these ducks, like you just said, Wyatt. I mean, flying through this little waterway like that. So.
Well, Dive Bomb, I think they go to Montana and do that. I mean, just a little bitty tiny creek, and they're shooting mallards at like 5 yards.
Oh,
and
it's insane.
Annihilating them. Like something.
Yeah,
look over here.
So talk to me, guys, as a non. I'm not a duck hunter, right? I understand there are different flyways. You got like basically 4 main flyways in North America, or the U.S. at least. Is one predominantly better than the others? I mean,
where they live.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are in that Mississippi Flyway, and that's, in my mind, is where you want to be. But I don't know, this isn't my cup of tea. So, from your perspective, is that like Pacific Flyway? Obviously, it's different, but is one better than the other?
Well, I'll let these guys talk. There's different ones. So like when Ron, we and I were kids, and our parents before us, the Chesapeake was like the place to go. I mean, there's books about it. They did market hunting and stuff like that, overpopulated stuff, land development. We talked about that a little bit ago, but it's just kind of been burned out, and it's still good. Late season, when it gets cold and that push comes down, you're going to see lots of them. But it's kind of shifting where these guys are in like the Midwest flyways now. So you guys can piggyback off of that if you have.
I would say the Central Flyway is starting to become more dominant than what we are. So the Central Flyway, and then the eastern side of the Mississippi Flyway. We're on the west side of the Mississippi.
Yeah, like he said earlier, we kind of get split by the central and the eastern side of the Mississippi. But I will say that in the past, like 6 years probably, I would say the hot topic has been Oklahoma, the Central Flyway. It seems like that has been a shift in the migration. That's where it's hot.
Guys going to Kansas,
South Dakota,
and Oklahoma.
Kansas, and Oklahoma have been really hot last several years.
Yeah.
And there's different. You go out to California, like Cody was saying, you're going to get into some different ducks and some cooler stuff that you're not going to get into. I had guys, we've said this a couple times on the show, I had guys from some Midwest northern place. They actually told me and Lee they'd give us a couple $1,000 just to come out here and shoot bubbleheads with us. And they're like, I don't want to say a trash duck because I'll shoot the crap out of them, but like, you can sit there, they're going to swim up to you. You can shoot them all day long.
We got into them one hunt this year.
Yeah. They're fun to shoot. I mean, they're like the mergansers of our area. We do have mergansers, but like you go to certain places and you don't want to get skunked. Butterballs.
I like to call teal with level 4 armor because they're almost impossible to kill.
Oh, dude.
You can
we went down to Eastern Shore of Maryland, again famous for hunting, with my boys this year, and I had triple B BBs in my gun, and I shot a bufflehead in the head, rolled it over, and it got up and flew away.
Yeah, insane.
They're diver ducks, Ron. They go underwater. They're just tough, and they're only like this big.
This big, yeah.
I got a pretty Drake mounted over there. One of the first ones I killed.
I got my first one too.
Yeah.
So the hunt that we got onto them this year, we killed 4 of them, but we downed probably 8 or 9, and they would go under and swim. My buddy would get in a boat, take off after them, and they would come up. He would shoot them. They'd dive back down, come back up 20, 30 yards, and get up and fly away.
Yeah. It's like whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
Where are they going to come up, Cool, man. This is a good conversation.
Go back to the dream hunt. I would probably change it if I got told an all expense paid, go wherever you want to go. I would probably go to Alaska and shoot king eiders.
Oh man, how
Mhm.
cool are they?
So
They're just
fun.
the coolest.
Yeah, king eiders, surf scoters, and just a bunch of those predominant sea ducks. That would be really cool. Some brand.
Anything like those, anything up there that hasn't been shot at 1,000 times is going to be cool, anyways.
Yeah.
You know,
King otters, God, they look so cool.
yeah, they're
And they-
cool, man,
There's
for sure.
it's usually a couple of them shot in the States a year. Some of them will get down here. I think that would be really cool.
You ever watch Higdon
Yeah.
Outdoors? Ever watch any of their shows? I like
Yeah.
when they go out west and go get some of those birds, like those Eurasian widgeons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's always
I heard Washington.
super fun to watch here. So cool, man. Well, dude, I mean, and I'm not just saying it's because we're on the air. I'll talk about it afterwards. Anytime, whether you hunt with me or just want to come up here, I can put you onto some stuff up here anywhere,
Yeah, that'd be fun.
just to come do it. And
One day. It'll probably have to be when the kids are a little bit older. Having a 4 and a 5-year-old makes it kind of hard to travel right now.
yeah, I hear that.
One day I would love to go. I mean, I get vacation time out the yin yang at my jobs. I'd love to. I could take off from like November till January and still come back with vacation.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
there's some cool stuff too. If you're into it, there's the Chesapeake has museums. There's a place called Havre de Grace. It's a town off the Chesapeake, and they just have some really cool museums, decoy stuff. Whoa, I'm hearing myself.
mm-hmm.
I
told
just
you
muted
Wyatt's
Wyatt.
fault.
Okay,
Mhm.
say it again, Cody.
I told you it was Wyatt's fault.
Yeah,
Oh,
let me
all right.
unmute him and see what that sounds like. Can we hear ourselves?
Hello.
Cool. I'm at a
Yeah,
baseball game.
we got a bad echo again.
The echo cancellation on this deal, it says I can't do it while recording. My bad. This thing battery died quick. I don't know how it died that fast, but that's probably the issue.
We're good. We're getting ready to wrap up here, anyways, guys.
All right, yeah. As we work to wrap this thing up, I mean, what do you have going on for next season? I mean, I know we're sort of towards the tail end of things now, but what do you got looking forward to? We'll start with you, Cody.
So the 2 youth kids I took hunting this weekend, one of them's dad has permission on this private land that's got 3 strip pits on it, which if y'all don't know what a strip pit is, back in the 80s and 90s they used to mine for coal around here, and they dig these giant pits, and now they're just water, and there's a bunch of ducks that's been on those, and then there's a little spot in the woods that's waist deep is the deepest part that it gets, but it is full of buckbrush. Which if you don't know what buckbrush is, it's just some bushes without leaves on it in the water, and it is so thick. I took them out there this weekend, and the hole was maybe 10 yards across by probably 15 yards wide or long, and that was the hole they had to land in. And they swim across, through the buckbrush. But they were shooting mallards and wood ducks at like 15 yards, and
yeah.
it was insane. So uh, I've been family friends with them for a long time. One of his dad lets me goose hunt. He's got a couple ponds that Canada geese usually hang out on, and he's let me hunt since I was 16. And so I was just kind of talking to him, and I was like, man, if y'all come in the summer when the water's down and cut probably like a 40-foot hole in this buckbrush, just clear it out a little bit, give them a landing zone, it's just going to be, absolutely insane next year. They were like, well, if you come help us this summer, you can hunt with us. And I was like, say when,
Deal.
I'll
Don't
be
threaten
there.
me with a good time.
Yeah. And so, which they're 14 and 15 years old, and this is their first year duck hunting. His dad got out of duck hunting several years ago, and I've actually taken 2 of his other siblings hunting, quite a bit. So it's weird. It's kind of like a family tradition that I take them hunting, and it is really cool.
For sure.
But yeah, they kept calling me their guide all weekend. They're like, "Oh yeah, we're going on a guided hunt." I was like, we're hunting on y'all's property. I'm just here
Yeah.
calling for you, And they're
The
like,
guest
"Yeah,"
guide.
but uh, their biggest issue was learning the patience because they seen a duck start to cup up and fly down there wanting to shoot at them. So I wait until I call the shot, let them get into the spread, and then shoot them. And once they started learning that you can actually shoot them at that 15, 20 yards versus 40, they started hammering them. They were doing good.
Got into the hang of it.
Yeah.
What about you, Wyatt? What do you got planned for what's next for you?
Well, a buddy of mine, we should have permission on about 6 new ponds next year. It's a pretty big farm, and I've hunted these ponds before with a different buddy, and the guy's like selling out, and the new guy that's buying it is related to my buddy, but I've hunted it, a few years ago, and then we kind of just quit. It didn't, I don't know if they didn't really want us out there a whole lot or what, but with new owners, we got pretty big plans for these new ponds. We're thinking it's going to get good. And I'm looking forward to getting to sleep in a little more, have a little more private land where you're not out there at 3 a.m. trying to fight around for a spot on the river.
For sure.
Yeah, I want to focus on videoing more next year. I wanted to this year, but it just didn't pan out this year. Every time I try to make a video, it just didn't work out really, So
I know what you mean.
I wanna focus on that more next year.
Where do you?
All right. Final question for you boys. You guys water swatters or not?
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Actually,
If
Go
you
ahead,
I was actually going to make a sticker that says Water Swatters Union, Chesapeake chapter, and I had a hooded merganser hen on it.
No, every person I've hunted with, we've always said if you do your job good enough to land a bird, I don't understand why you shouldn't be able to swat it off the water.
Well, I mean, and again, to
read my comment.
piggyback off the bufflehead thing, sometimes they're harder to kill that way, like physically kill.
Yeah,
You know, they got their wings tucked up. Yeah.
so I've said it for a long time, kind of like what Wyatt said. Our job as waterfowlers is to decoy birds. Kind of like a deer. You set up and you fool them, and you get them to come in. You're tricking them. That's your job, is to decoy them to get them in the range. So if you land them, you done your job. Shoot them.
That's it.
But kind of what you said though too. I mean, you got to think they're here's the water level. Well, you got half the duck like this. So when you shoot them, you're only shooting on top of their back and their head. Half their body's underwater, kind of. So sometimes it is harder to kill them. When
They're made to do that. They're made to dive, and I mean, they're tough.
Sometimes I give them
They're tough.
Sometimes I give them a little, hey, wait till they get that high off the water, then shoot them. But oh yeah, I'll water spot one.
Well, for the
boys-
audience, yeah,
Okay, go ahead, Ron.
for the audience, where can people find you?
Go ahead, Wyatt.
Yeah, so if y'all need to find me, I'm at Stacking Waterfowl on Instagram and Facebook at the moment, and hopefully before too long we'll be able to branch out to some more social medias. But for now, just Instagram and Facebook at Stacking Waterfowl.
Yep.
About you, Code Man.
Triple B Outdoors on everything. Instagram is triple B.outdoors, but YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, everywhere's just Triple B Outdoors. And then y'all
Hashtag Kitty Slayer.
That's right. And then y'all keep an eye out. Maybe me and Wyatt can do a little collab next year and get some videos going together.
Let's do it. Look forward to it, boys.
Go on.
Sure.
This
Right
was
on.
awesome. This was awesome.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on the show, guys. Talking waterfowl. I'm sitting here soaking it up like a sponge. Trying to learn, hang out with guys that sort of grew up, and you got this in your veins. It's second nature to y'all. So appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. Hang on here. Let's run the outro. and we will see you guys next time. But thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Remember to get outdoors, stay wild. Nature is our playground.